Welcome to Life Gloss, a beauty podcast for sassy and seasoned women who have lived life and have a drawer full of lip gloss to prove it. We're your hosts, Susan Gerdeman
and Hillary Clark Mina. Join us each Thursday as we discuss life and how it relates to the world of beauty inside and out. Well, it's summertime. Time to fly the friendly skies or brave the unfriendly highways.
Now, we can't guarantee an on-time arrival, but whether it's a plane, train, or automobile, we've got some suggestions to help make your trip much more beautiful.
Boy, do we ever. Susan, it's so funny. Every time I see that phrase, time to fly the friendly skies, it reminds me of this time as a beauty editor. I was working and I was helping a girlfriend who actually owns Spa Radiance in San Francisco. And this is when people were just starting to do bikini waxes, which of course everyone's thinking about during the summer. So this is when people were doing the shapes for the bikini waxes. And she was like, Hillary, I don't know what to call the landing strip. And I was like, call it Fly the Friendly Thighs. And I was like, I'll do the whole bikini waxing menu. And it ended up in Allure magazine. So I actually said to someone the other day, oh, you're taking off. Have fun. Fly the friendly thighs. And they looked at me like, what is wrong with you, woman? And I was like, oh, there's a backstory.
Oh my God. I love that. Only you would come up with fly the friendly thighs. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel like I need to take these thighs and take them somewhere. I mean, I am at the point where, I feel like summer's here and the kids are out of school and I just feel like it's just been one thing after the next. And mama needs a margarita somewhere, somewhere. I don't know where, but even,
yes.
even my backyard. I don't know.
The backyard it can be miraculous. I know. I feel like we've just had one thing after another, and I'm sure a lot of our audience feels the same way. It's as if I get to the end of the day and I think, why has nothing been done? I feel like all of a sudden I'm just not productive. Am I not managing my time well? Or am I just taking a summer break without actually going anywhere? And if that's the case, I need to get out of Dodge.
But don't you feel, though, that sometimes even thinking about getting out of town is stressful?
Yes.
You think about, I need a break, I need a vacation, but where do I begin? Then I think about all the packing that needs to be done, all the organizing that needs to be done, all the things that need to be done before you leave. So it's like you almost get more stressed planning and thinking about the vacation than actually taking the vacation. But I think we've got some good tips. We've got some good ideas from a beauty point of view to help our listeners just sort of say, you know what, how do I organize our thoughts? How do we organize our cosmetic bags? How do we look good getting from point A to point B in a very stressless way?
Yes, and schlepping is not chic. I remember when I was younger, I wanted to take all of these things. And even like I see influencers that are like planning outfits and doing all these wonderful things. And it's having the basics to mix in. And the chicest women, I don't know if that's the goal for everyone, but chic in my translation of my version ends up being effortless. You're not schlepping, you're not lugging, you're not exhausted. You just pick something up effortlessly and go with the right essentials, the right pieces, and the right minis. You don't need to make yourself crazy or uncomfortable traveling.
I look back to how I traveled in my 20s and 30s with a million bags, a million things, a million outfits. And that was great then. But I have to be honest with you, I am a carry-on person, have been for the past decade. I don't check a bag ever. I pack one suitcase and one tote bag with my, pocketbook inside that, and off I go. I am no longer bringing 63 pieces of luggage. It is lean and mean. And I find that to be less stressful. the less things I need to worry about, the less ideas and concepts I need to think about, the less stressed I am. So I find that doing carry-ons, keeping it simple, keeping it easy, keeps me very calm.
Amen, sister. Absolutely. And for listeners that are new to the show, Susan and I schlepped for a living as pro makeup artists, as
Yeah.
educators. I was taking my kit around the world. Susan was taking trunks of Chanel around the world. I mean, we have schlepped. And particularly when you're an educator, in fact, I just got back from Canada. And I have to say, I have really I have made it a science. I have perfected this to a science as far as my personal packing. And it just comes from years and years of being miserable on the road. So listen up. We're going to save you guys some time.
You just reminded me why I do carry-ons now. I think it's PTSD from being in charge of 20 trunks of product and schlepping bags and trunks and cases all over the world. And I think because I was on the road for so long and because I was in charge of all these literally trunks of product and trunks of things, I think I just flash back to that and the stress I was under. And now I'm like, well, if I'm going to go on a holiday or I'm just going to go away, I want it to be effortless. I want it easy and I want it to be in one bag. So let's talk about it. What do we do to pre-pack? Let's think of some things that we do.
So pre-pack, this is something, even before we get into the makeup of it, I still do like the outfit situations. I think about, do I need anything black tie? Is it an event? Do I need evening? Do I need daytime? But I have become very good at finding pieces that mix well, and jewelry and accessories. I'll put it on it. I'll put in a big pair of earrings and a turban or a scarf that wraps and can be like a bandeau top, that it can also be a scarf. Like, I have really started to get this down, and I make sure that I stay in a color family. Like, sometimes if it's winter, I'm all in like camels and beiges and browns, or blacks and grays. If it's more summer, I'll tend to choose linens and silks, things that will easily go in between each other, rather than, I had a phase where, we would do these 7-day weddings and there would be 3 outfits a day. And you would end up with just a monster packing list. And it was so stressful because every single bag had a hanger and a bag of jewelry and shoes and underpinnings and this and that, and a 5 separate handbags. You could wear 3 handbags per day. It was out of this world. And I just don't have the patience anymore. So I start off by visualizing, if I have events or if it's more of a laissez-faire trip, how do I want to feel while I'm tromping around the world doing whatever I'm doing? And I go from there. So I back into it from clothing. And then the cherry on top is my self-care and my skincare.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to have a color palette and take it from there. I'm pretty East Coast in my packing. It's black and white, it's literally black and white. And just keep it simple. And then throw in one wild card outfit or one wild card accessory or one wild card lipstick. Sometimes the makeup I pack obviously is very simple and we'll get into, all the different things that we bring, and I just stick to one very natural, very quick and easy look, because makeup to me on vacation, I don't want it to become a chore or remind me of work. But I'll often toss in a lipstick shade, or an eyeliner pencil that's a wild card. It's something I don't normally wear or something I don't use, like a hot fuchsia or an electric berry tone. And I just toss it in the bag because it makes me put it on, and it sort of brings that kind of fantasy of being away on a vacation and sort of looking or feeling just different. It's like a little bit of a fantasy escape. So I recommend doing something like that, taking something that you normally wouldn't do, even a hair accessory that you normally wouldn't wear, and just tossing it in the bag and having fun with it. Because, you know, you're on holiday. It's a fantasy anyway, right? Getting away from real life.
That's my favorite. Like my turban and the big earrings, or exactly like there's this lipstick called Bombshell that's this bright fuchsia that I would never wear. I don't know why, but when I'm going somewhere, I'll do that, or even just like a really fun tealy green or gold liquid liner shadow something and a colorful mascara. Like just something
Yeah,
wild makes it and it creates that memory too. And if you're doing photos, you're like, oh, I was wearing lime liquid eyeliner that whole trip. It was so fun,
right.
Whatever. I
Yeah.
love it. So,
Well,
how do we now? I think everyone's been in this situation. You get everything packed and then you go to put your toiletries and your makeup in. It pushes you over 50 pounds. You can't zip the bag. You just are, really, it's that last hair that breaks the camel's back. And how do we help people with their pre packing? I love to go and get samples. If it's a short trip, if it's just a couple nights, you can totally get away with a little sample packets or sample tubes from your favorite brands. Or then, Susan, you also had, I love your GWP
you know,
idea.
I think something else besides hitting up the counters to get samples, GWP season, gift with purchase. Gift with purchase season, great time to go and stock up on some of your favorite brands, say favorite products as well. Many companies will do the GWPs, gift with purchase. Those make great travel bags and they have lovely travel sizes. Also, something I noticed now, a lot of the major cosmetic boutiques and stores are sort of onto this, the whole idea of travel. So you have, Sephora with their great mini and travel area that you can buy all that stuff. And I know Blue Mercury is now selling the pre-made sample bags. And those are fantastic, great to travel with.
Brilliant. And it's also an affordable, cool way to try something you've always had your eye on. I love them from that. Now, for those of you that are starting or committed to, or you're measuring your progress with skincare, and you don't want that to be interrupted by a vacation, there are actually these great little travel vials. I'm going to put them into our Amazon page, Susan. We never even talk about the fact that, sometimes, we're not sponsored by anything, but sometimes, people text us and go crazy and they're like, where did you get that thing that you talked about? So when it's available, we'll throw things into Amazon. And then, of course, we put links just outside to people's websites at the bottom of our show notes. But I put together a little list of things that I love on Amazon, and they have these refillable minis. They even have refillable airless minis so that you know that you're not contaminating your product. I've even found for your items that are in glass that I found like little glass droppers and pumps. I know glass is often a no-no when traveling, but this is pretty durable and I roll them up in my face eraser, my little face makeup removing washcloth thing that I always travel with because then I need less cleanser. And I just roll them all up into that. And it's kind of like unrolling a brush roll with serums and potions and things that I think need to be more stable in glass, but it's not that serious. You can put them in something airless and it's really miraculous. So I love a refill too.
That's a great idea. I also love a palette. I have to be honest, I will look for palettes, and I know a few brands make some great palettes. Palettes are wonderful because it has everything in there, your highlighter, your bronzer, your blush, in some cases, some concealers. If you can find a palette to match your skin tone, it's a great way to go. Makeup Forever just came out with their HD Skin Face Essentials palette, which is incredible if you like a cream product. It has a foundation concealer in there, a highlighter, a blush, bronzer, and there's a couple of shades for deeper skin tones and lighter skin tones. I really like that palette, and it's small. I also know Natasha Denona does some really cute mini palettes, which are wonderful. Too Faced, I know, does some travel palettes. So look for those that have the combination blush, highlight, bronzer, all in one. Dior does a great one as well, as I'm sitting here thinking. Those are wonderful. Then it's just one little palette in your bag, easy to take with you. You don't have like 15 different things.
Palettes are the best. I love a palette. I also love with Mob Beauty, MOB Beauty. You can make a palette and you can mix up creams and powders and you can just totally customize your own palette. I've been making a lot of palettes for my vintage makeup people. Like if they have a vintage, if they have a vintage compact or a vintage cigarette case or something, they'll, choose one of mine or they'll send me theirs and I'll just palette it out with a magnet and pans and it's so easy. So, hey, if you can find a pre-made one, it's great. If you feel makeup creative, you can make one yourself or you can even pour some of your favorite chic things into little, makeup tins, lay them down with a magnet, do it yourself. You can DIY or there's all kinds of things you can do depending on how involved you want to be.
Yeah, or how much time you have on your hands, which I
Yeah.
have zero. So I get those palettes for sure.
Yeah. I'm concocting. I'm like, okay, I'm doing, but then sometimes I'm like, oh, to hell with this. Where's my palette? And I'll just pop everything in. It's all different. Each trip is different. We're juggling a lot, getting ready to go.
Right.
So beauty travel tips. There are definitely things to do and things not to do when we've learned so many things the hard way.
Right.
What are some of your favorite travel do's? I know we're all dry right about now.
So I think for anyone over a certain age, definitely dehydration is going to be your arch enemy. So I don't get on a plane or a train, a boat or a car, or even hitchhike without hydration. And I'm talking inside and out. So for me, what's in my bag is going to be a moisture mask that I apply before I get on or wherever I'm going, a lip balm, and water with electrolytes. Those are the three things I will not go on a trip. They are non-negotiable. I have to be with them because I'm so dry anyway. The minute you put me above a certain altitude, I'm just going to like look like a prune by the time I land. So moisture mask, lip balm, and electrolytes in my water for sure. I also want to be sure that I have an SPF on my face and on my body. So important, even on an airplane. We always think, oh, put your sunscreen on before you get into the car, before you get on a train, whatever. Airplanes, especially, you're flying so close to the sun. So please make sure you put an SPF on your face and body.
100%. When I see people sitting right next to the window with the screen up and I can tell they have no SPF on, I'm always like, ooh, you're going to get it. Like
Yeah.
people don't pay attention. And then, especially my clients that come to me and they fly a lot and they're not putting SPF on, they're flying during the day, you really see it. I want to back up a little bit. Which electrolyte do you like for your water, Susan?
I like oh God, I knew you were going to ask me that. Hang on, my favorite, wait,
We can
um,
link to it. I can put it in the bottom of the show notes.
yeah, you're going to have to put it at the bottom of the show. Is it Ultima?
Okay.
I think it's Ultima Electrolytes is the one that I use. And they come in little travel packs, which I love, like little sticks,
Hmm.
and they're just great. I find them to be the least high in sodium, which for me, I want to be sure I'm using an electrolyte that is low sodium. So Ultima is the one that I recommend and that I use. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I love the individual sticks. So it's just quick, right into the bottle, and off I go.
Love it. I'm always on the lookout for, micro minerals and
Yep.
electrolytes, those kinds of things to hydrate because they make you feel so much better. The other thing is hydrogen. If you can find little hydrogen droplets or the little hydrogen tablets, if you put those in your water, especially
Yep.
when you're flying, it will help to oxygenate and improve the oxygen level, and you'll feel better, and your jet lag will be much better too, because a
That's
lot
right.
of that oxygen deprivation.
That's right. And I also always make sure that I have makeup wipes and hand sanitizer wipes of some sort because I like to wipe down all around me. I'm a germaphobe. I'm crazy about it. I wipe everything down because they do not clean the planes in between or the trains in between passengers often, not always, but they don't often do it with the turnaround on these flights these days. So I make sure I wipe everything down, much to the dismay of my embarrassed teens. But you know what? It works. I do that. And then I also make sure I have makeup wipes on my face just to freshen up, especially when you're traveling. It just feels so good to freshen up.
Oh, it makes all the difference in the world, doesn't it?
It's,
Truly,
yeah.
truly, 100%. I that. And I've also, something I've started doing recently is I always make sure that before I pack, I do a really quick little lymphatic drainage exercise, even if that means 20 jumping jacks and brushing my hair.
It's
It's
great.
amazing how much better you feel. Um, before you get on and off the plane. But yeah, jumping jacks and brush your hair. I know it sounds weird. Dry brush your body. If that's a little more involved, but something before I jump on the plane. And for whatever reason, brushing my hair just also gets the lymphatic drainage going in the scalp, which can be a lot better too.
There's no shame in my game. I'm that person in the lobby or the waiting area stretching and doing yoga. I mean, I'm not going into like full on, down on the ground or, you know, going into savasana, but I am stretching, I am moving absolutely 100% before I get on any type of long journey or long trip. You got to move, you got to stretch. Who cares? I could care less if someone's looking at me. It is imperative to move and stretch your body before you settle in for a long haul anywhere of any type of travel. Something else that's really important, speaking of that, with your lymphatic drainage and movement, compression socks. God, they are really so ugly. They're getting a little nicer, a little cuter, but I'm telling you, I've worn them for years. They save me. They absolutely make a difference. So make compression socks your friends as well.
I've gotten to the point of where even in the winter, if I'm wearing boots, I wear my compression socks, and they now have them infused with copper. So they're especially good for inflammation. The compression socks, can't live without them. They are beyond, above and beyond. And I can't even tell you how many times they've just saved me randomly. I've used like the clean ones as an eye mask around my neck and my head if I need to.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you've got to have them. They are just unbelievable.
But they're
Uh,
not just for flying. And I will tell people this, as someone who lives with chronic inflammation, and I'm always battling it. Don't just think they're for flights. They are also for train rides. You can tell I live on the East Coast, Amtrak girl, but they're for train rides and they're also for long distance driving. If you're in the car and you're driving, absolutely put them on. Anytime you're going to be seated and you can't get up and move around at least for 3 hours or longer, you have to have compression socks on. Trust us, you will thank us for wearing them. They're not high fashion, I'm not going to lie, but they really do make a difference.
Huge difference. I wear them on our drives to my in-laws all the time. They save me hands down. I'm in a better mood when I get there. I don't feel swollen and irritated and just terrible. It makes all the difference in the world. So those are our dues, Susan.
Wait, I have another do. I
Oh,
have
go.
another two. Do you
Let's
know what else
go.
I love that's so
Tell
fun to do?
me.
I put a facial self tanner on before I leave the house in the morning. Say I'm going to be traveling. I put it on in the morning. I like the Tan Lux drops. I mix them in my moisturizer, put it on, and then by the time I arrive to my destination, I got a little glow. I look a little rested. This is because I don't wear makeup when I travel. And that's our first don't.
Right. Brilliant. I love it. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. There is nothing worse than feeling like you have a face full of makeup when you're traveling trains, planes, automobiles, whatever. It is just the worst feeling. And you want to look great. So that's why I love stains and the bronzing. The bronzing tip, gosh, we've been doing that forever.
Yeah, you just got to toss on a self tanner of some sort, or something in your moisturizer, even the Barbara Strum glow drops that I love. Just something on your skin to make you look fresh and alive when you land, because I, you just please just don't wear heavy makeup on a journey, on a flight, especially on a flight. Save the false lashes for when you get there at dinner. Save the heavy makeup. It's just really bad for your skin. And it looks terrible because by the time that you land and you arrive, your skin looks so dry and cakey. The makeup is separated. If you have to get off a plane and go straight to a meeting, or you're not traveling for fun purposes, you can do your makeup in the car on your way, or you can do it right before you land. But honestly, do not sleep in it. Don't wear it on the flight. It never works out well. And just trust us on this one. Don't do it.
Yeah, if I have to go straight from, the tarmac to a training or the tarmac to a party, I just do it in the last, 15 minutes of the flight, and I don't care who's watching and who's looking. Inevitably, I end up chatting with someone about what I'm using or what I'm doing. If it's a man, he just ignores me generally or becomes very interested if I have a contraption of some sort. Who knows? I just don't care. It's like I stretch. I stretch, in the waiting area next to the gate. If people stare at me, I'll just invite them to join along. Hell, we'll teach a yoga class, whatever. Do what
That's
you got to
right.
do to stay healthy and comfortable.
I think that comes with that's one of the bonuses of getting older, is you literally don't give a shit anymore. It's like, if I want to stretch, if I want to do yoga in my seat, if I want to be a crazy person and wear my compression socks, if I want to have a mask on, I don't care. I don't care. You know, First thing I do when I get on a flight, I have on some type of facial mask. Usually I wear a facial mask that's clear. I like the Sicily Flower Express because it's clear, and I'll put that on. And I'm not embarrassed. I'll put on my eye mask underneath, my eye patches. It's who cares? Like,
Who
who
cares?
cares? Not me. So that's just a bonus, I think, as we get older. We don't care anymore. Who cares how crazy I look? I want to look good. So if I need to look crazy before I look good, I'm a clown. I'll look crazy. I don't care.
Yeah, me too. As a matter of fact, we had an evening event the other night, and do you know I ran around the streets of Los Angeles? I went to the market, I went to the bar method, I went to the post office, and I went to the pharmacy, all with silicone eye patches under my eyes.
Yeah.
And I didn't care. And that's the beautiful thing about living in Los Angeles. Nobody does either. But
I was going to say half of LA is walking around with eye patches and eye masks underneath their eyes now. I mean, I think everybody, but honestly, when you get older, really, who cares? Nobody cares. So do what you need to do to look and feel your best. So besides don't wear heavy makeup. Something else that I think you want to make sure, don't pack all your skincare and makeup. Keep some with you in a carry-on. I mean, unless it's a big size, then you're obviously going to have to pack it. But really, I just keep one little bag that has my skincare and my makeup in my carry-on with me at all times, because you'll want to do a touch up, or you'll want to make sure that you have things that you need with you. So don't pack it. Also, it can leak sometimes. So I just find it better to keep my beauty with me. I like to have my beauty with me. I don't pack it. I like to have it with me.
so, Susan, we've sort of given them a little bit of a teaser about what to do, what not to do. what are the essentials that you carry on your travel bag? Like, I know you're putting your suitcase in the overhead, and then you have your pocketbook and, everything else we need to run the world, and your little bag of tricks beneath your feet, if you're flying or, next to you, wherever you may be. What beauty items are in the smaller travel bag?
Well, I keep my magic wand with me at all times so I can just magically wave it over my face and I'm 20 and look fabulous. I'm just kidding. I have three things with me at all times. One of them I mentioned earlier, the Sicily Flower Express mask. I love it. It's a little goes a long way. It's a small tube and I just apply that all over. It's invisible, so you really don't see it. But there's something about Flower Express mask. It just makes your skin so plump. And I leave it on. I really just leave it on. You can't see it. And it just hydrates like no other product I've ever used. It's incredible. I've used it for years. It's my go-to. So I have that with me. I have my lip balm. My favorite one I've been using for some time now is the Revision Skincare Youthful Lip Replenisher. It's a mouthful, but it's a small black tube. Little goes a long way. It is super thick, super shiny, looks fantastic, and really hydrates. I love that. So it's a lip mask that kind of looks like a lip gloss. It's phenomenal. So I put that on, have my mask on. So now I'm looking really glowy, looking really good, really rested. And then halfway through, wherever I'm traveling to, I will toss on my eye masks. The ones that I like because they're individually packaged, so I can slip a couple in my carry on, are the Wander Beauty baggage claim eye masks. First of all, the name is adorable, baggage claim. But I just really like these. They're gold on the outside. They stay put. They're not slimy. So on the outside is dry, and then underneath the gold foil is this wonderful eye mask. I love those. I think they do a great job of hydrating, and I just leave them on, take a nap, then pull them off after about a half hour or whatever I remember to. And it really helps with the puffiness under my eyes. So those are the three things, honestly, I have with me in my bag, and they really help me look like I haven't been just every ounce of life sucked out of me by the time I land.
Ooh, I'm gonna look at those Wander baggage claim eye masks. The reusable silicone ones, but sometimes when you're traveling, you just want to peel them off and toss them away and
Yes.
be done with them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna check those out. Yeah, the three things that I travel with, and I'm religious about this. So I moisture is key for me as well. So my beauty hack travel rollers. So it's a serum with a stainless steel roller. I have one for my neck and face, one for my eyes. I get all the good stuff, the humectants, the hydration, no rolling, no pilling. Plus, I'm doing lymphatic drainage and it feels so good for neck, face, eyes. And I get puffy when I travel. So the beauty hack treatment rollers save me. My hydration is check mark there. I also have one of my little small Mob Beauty touch up palettes if I need it, because I can put a lip in there, like a hydrating balm that I can do on my lips and under my eyes. I don't really need it for under my eyes, but my cuticles, the older that I've become, my cuticles take a real hit. So I put their lip on my fingers and on my lips. And then I also have the Tizo, the mineral stick
Mhm.
sunscreen, the SPF tinted SPF. So I have my skincare on my rollers, a tiny little baby palette that mostly has, moisturizers and moisturizers. It has a little bronzer, a little concealer. I don't know. I never know if I'm going to need it, depending on where I'm going, but always my tinted SPF mineral stick. And there you go.
Where are we going? Now we got to go somewhere. We got to go somewhere.
Where should we meet?
I don't know. Let's just get out of here.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm done. Can you
I
tell?
am always half packed. So, my go bag's always ready to go.
Let's go. Let's just get out of here. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
wherever you go, I'll go, my friend. I'll just follow you. You lead and I'll come. How's that?
Okay, I'll see you there. I'll be the one in the dark glasses and the hat.
And I'll be the one with a face mask on doing weird yoga poses.
Lo-
Perfect.
Will be easy to spot.
Easy
Lovely.
to spot.
Lovely. All right, so let's tell the people. We want to hear where you guys are going next. And I would love to know if you guys have any fantastic travel tips that we didn't cover because you guys are out there, road warriors as well. We learn as much from you as you learn from us. So share with us some of your travel tips too. Tell us where you're going this season. And you can always connect with us on socials. We are at Life Gloss Podcast. Our website is lifegloss.com. That's life-gloss.com.
And as always, Hillary, no matter where you're traveling, stay glossy.
Stay glossy, Susan.